Hello. It's not Isabel Sip anymore. It's Ranting Sip. Ranting Sip! 10-year-old DS. Have you done anything with modding or coding before? Coding? Wait, what? Yeah, I was a game developer. What do you mean? But no, I've never modded, I've never modded, game consoles. Yeah, I was an indie game developer for a few years. Technically, I still am. I just don't do it. I haven't done it. I haven't done it in a few years. I haven't developed a game in a long time, and this week I want to get back into it, but I need to sort my head out on some stuff. No, I mean, it was just like game jams and demos and stuff. I don't have anyone I really feel like playing on stream or anything to show you. I had an archive available somewhere. I don't know if I made it available in my... Yeah, it's in, if you're a Ko-fi supporter, so even if you donate like $1 on Ko-fi, you can get access to the Ko-fi supporter stuff on my Discord. And there's an archive that has all the links on it. I mean, I can just post it in chat, it's not like a secret. Just... If you ever want to have the link later, it's always there. They're just like small little projects. It's nothing great. It's just like, it was just me like learning how to make video games. I've been wanting to work on like a new one, actually for the purpose of me having fun. I just want to make a game that I'd have fun playing over and over again. What's up, Coconut? I don't remember ever streaming game development. I remember, the only time I actually remember streaming game development was, Dinosaur Jr. versus the 1960s. What do you remember, Nirar? Because I don't remember. Yeah, Nirar, I forget. I know, I have a vague memory of you saying that you used to follow me back then. Do you remember what name I went by? Was it still Debbie Ever? I forget. It's just now coming back to me that I think you said something about that you actually used to follow me way back when. Yeah, was it, do you remember if it was Twitch or Ustream? Because I don't think I ever streamed on Justin TV. I know I streamed on Ustream. Yeah, it was Debbie at the time. Okay. So it was before I got into all the dumb trouble. That's wild, bro. So crazy. Yeah, I recently found some old videos where I was doing vlogs from back in the day. It was Twitch? Okay. Yeah, I got that account banned pretty quickly because I was with a bunch of people harassing another trans content creator. I was being just a fucking asshole to them, honestly. It's weird to think I would have that old of an account if I wasn't such a fucking dick. Some days I feel like I just spawned into the world, and then I have to remember that I had all of this life before this point. It's just like, oh right. And then on one hand, 10 years ago doesn't feel like it's that long, and then on the other hand it feels like it was forever ago. When you've had decades of lived experience, it's very strange, because some things feel like it's just yesterday, and then other things feel like it's forever ago. Also, I feel like I have a very unique life in the fact that, like, I tend to lead a very novel life, like where a lot of people just, I feel like there's a lot of people in the world who just tend to kind of like settle into a routine, or they love the things they love and never try to find new things to enjoy. I'm always like looking for new experiences and stuff, so like my brain kind of filters out shit in a different way. Like a good example is like people who are my age will talk about movies from the 80s with like a certain fondness. It's been replaced with fondness for new things, right? So like, yeah, there was a point in my life where I could say like Ghostbusters was like a really great film that I had like cherished memories of. But now I just don't even think of it really. And meanwhile, there's people my age who still think of Ghostbusters as though it's like one of the best movies ever made, you know? So yeah, it's a very odd experience. And from what I've heard of people who like live in their, or people who, you know, people in their 80s and 90s and stuff, like they talk about similar experiences where it's just like, to them they look in a mirror and they're like, oh my god, like who is that old person? Like it's just weird how your brain adapts to aging and memories when you've had literally decades and decades of experience. Yeah. Also time, I think this was a theory I had that actually was proven. And if you don't live a novel life, if you're just doing the same thing over and over again, your brain tends to, it's an efficiency thing, I think, where it's like you just kind of like don't retain those like memories that are similar, and so it can feel like it feels like your life just slips away. I don't know, it's hard to describe. Like my roots in VRChat, the early days in VRChat feels like it was just yesterday, but not because time flew by, but because I just like hold so close to those memories. But then at the same time, it does feel like it was like certain things feel like it's forever ago, and certain things feel like it's just yesterday. But not because I feel like time slipped by. It's just how I hold it in my memory. Like the era of doing indie game development was only a few years before VRChat, but that feels like those indie dev days and Gamergate and all that stuff. That literally does feel like a lifetime ago. Like that feels like 20 years ago type beat. But it was actually only a few years before I got into VRChat. And VRChat feels like yesterday, so it's weird. But I sometimes forget how much stuff has happened between then and now. Like I have gone through so many experiences. Also, I've been in this weird kind of like, since 2018 I've been in this weird whirlpool of like reliving the same shit over and over again constantly. Like returning to VTubing, returning to streaming, returning to VRChat, returning to game dev, like I keep returning to all these things. And so sometimes it's a little confusing. It's like wait a second, what? Yeah, I actually haven't been enjoying VRChat recently. Like even hanging out in VRChat with my boyfriend, I don't know, I get antsy. It's weird. I blame the headset not being comfortable. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get back to building guitar pedals soon. I think I'm gonna get back to like I think I'm gonna get back to a more like stringent working routine. I've been taking it kind of easy, doing this whole VTuber thing. I got really excited because for a little bit there my videos were popping off, but I realize now I think it's because I was just hitting on some like really like relatable topics. But recently I've just been wanting to make videos that are just me ranting about like weird subjects and not trying to like hit that like algorithm grind. So last week I had this like pause moment where I was like, oh my god, everything's popping off, let's go. And then it chilled out again, and I was just like, oh right, okay, maybe. But things are still growing, and everything feels good on YouTube. But I was like so nervous that everything was about to really pop off. So like last week the last week or two I've just been like not being as... I haven't been as productive outside of streaming as I could be, like with building guitar pedals or working on like creative projects and stuff. But now that I've seen like the way things are going with my YouTube, I think I'm just gonna like get back to big hard work ethic mode. Yeah, I was I had a real it was weird. It was like on the third week I think of posting on YouTube, things started to really pick up to the point where I thought it was gonna be like nearly viral. Or like I had hit like some like special I don't know how to describe it. I thought things were kind of really about to launch, and then I was just like, this past week it started to slow down again. And then I realized the ebb and flow I'm getting into on YouTube content creation, and I was like, I just need to take it easy, not worry about it so much, just make videos every day and just like move on with my life. And then, you know, if it gets big, it gets big. But for now, I think it's fine just the way it is. It's fun making that kind of content and connecting with people. To be big, yeah. It's funny, I have an iPhone because I bought one for face tracking, and then I have like this Galaxy. My main phone is like a Galaxy something or other, and I don't know. I got used to the big phones just because like I have, you know, I don't have big hands, but I don't have meaty hands, but I have, you know, hands that are big for adequate for my size. I don't know how to describe it. I have guitar playing hands. So I like the Galaxy like for typing and browsing and stuff. I kind of wish I had, like, I don't use a phone for phone, I just use a phone for browsing the internet, so if I was using a phone for phone purposes, I'd want a dumb phone for talking, and then, like, essentially, like, my media phone for media. Yeah, I'll be honest, guys, I think I got really caught up this past week in the idea that, like, my YouTube channel was about to pop off. And I'm glad it didn't, because I need to find a good work-life balance. I really do need to get back to making secure money to move out of Oklahoma and get to a better place. So I gotta get back to building guitar pedals. It's not hard work, it's not bad work, it's just I need to, like, make it part of my routine now, instead of just, like, making videos and waiting to see how they do. It's pretty expensive, unfortunately, but, well, maybe it's not expensive, it's probably an adequate price now I think about it, but there's a it's a tracking program, so, like, a sequencer sampler for making music. Like to program music, you really just need, like, essentially 3 buttons, like, it's like 3 or 4 buttons, right? And so they made, like, this, like, little hardware that you can, like, it almost looks like a Game Boy that you can program music on, and it has, like, a lot of features to program music, to essentially make, like, chip tunes. Like, some madman literally is just like, I'm gonna make a little self-enclosed sequencer sampler, and then have, like, you know, I'll fucking find a picture of it. I don't know why I'm trying to tell you, I can just show it to you. But it's really cool because it's like it's got that cassette futurism vibe. There's actually a few of them. I forgot about this one. The Pocket Operator. It's not the one I'm thinking of though. M8 Music Tracker. Yeah, I think this is it. Here we go. This is it. Yeah, look at it.
Hi everybody, my name is Jeremy, this is Red Means Recording, and today I have a really fun video introducing you to the Dirty Wave Mate Tracker. I've had this thing for a few months and have endeavored to try to write an entire album on it, which is in progress, but I wanted to make a video sooner rather than later so that all y'all could know a little bit about how it works, this little amazing one-person operation device, labor of love. And just sort of get you excited about how trackers work and what the possibilities are, because this thing is an entire music making machine in a tiny little package. I do want to show you how the Mate works, and yeah, just kind of get you excited about it. A quick note about this product, it is being made by one person. It's a labor of love, made by a very talented individual who's been in this scene for a very long time. It's subject to the same global part shortage kind of stuff that all the other projects in the entire world are kind of dealing with right now. And the reason I'm telling you this is because he's been working on, like, pre-order systems and trying to get supply and demand worked out. So at the time of this video going up, there may or may not be inventory, but I urge you, please don't, like, pay scalpers for it. Tim is working as hard as he can to get these out to people. And I just want you to support the actual creator. Don't. So hi everybody, this is the Mate. You can see that I'm holding it, and that's because it really is made to be used in this manner. Now, what you'll find is that you'll probably want a chain with nothing in it, so that you can sort of have spacers later. So what I can do is, like, go over here, I'll make a chain in the very last position, which is FE, and it's all hexadecimal.
Okay, I need someone who's less nerdy to talk about it. This is too much. Looks like Excel. Yeah, well, I mean, that's what sequencing is. Any digital music is ultimately this at its core. So yeah, here you can create your own. You can create your own synth samples, or I guess modify pre-made synth samples. So that's what this person is doing right now. Is they're going through and they're, like, tweaking all the little aspects of it. So you can kind of hear how the sound is changing, right? Yeah. So he's essentially just crafting the instrument at this point, right? And then here, this is writing out the notes, right? so it's just playing the same note over and over again. So now he's crafting a second sound. So the first one was kind of just like a weird, you know, like string, and now it sounds like he's trying to create the bass, maybe? A bass sample. And once again, just imagine like, what you're seeing on the right, just imagine on your keyboard if you were just pressing up, down, left, right, and then enter. Like, that's essentially what's going on. Yeah, so this is, yeah, there you go. He's crafting a staccato bass sample. And at the very top, you can see the waveform. Everything looks like that. If you put it through like I forgot what it's called, but every sound creates a waveform. So yeah. So see. So now he's deciding where the notes want to go on the pattern, and he just lowered the frequency so it's lower. I think he's still not happy with it. He's still trying to tweak it. But you'll notice it's a different rhythm now. So that chart, that Excel spreadsheet, as you said, is the rhythm, right? So where you put it, it's like a player piano or something. It's like as it. Oh, okay. Now we're okay. Wait, no, I think he created a different sample. This might maybe. No, he's still. I can't tell if he's trying to go for a different thing or. No, he's still fucking with the bass. Yeah. So right now he's trying to go for like the sound, and then you can see he's actually changing. Yeah, there, that one that's different. It goes up a little bit, like the pitch goes up for a second. So he's trying to create a slight melody with the bass. And once again, this is that same handheld thing the other guy was holding on to. So just imagine like playing this like a Game Boy. Like that's essentially like this guy could be on the bus doing this, or you know, walking down the street, creating this kind of music. Okay, and then right here, this screen, what this is so, if you know anything about music, like each Excel spreadsheet is essentially like a phrase, like it's like a chorus, like a verse chorus type beat, right? So this is that, it's called a pattern. That pattern is number 3, and so this guy is repeating that pattern 4 times, 3, 3, 3, 3, right? So you list off each pattern down here, and it goes one after the other. That's what this is. So it organizes those spreadsheets into like, you know, which order do you want to play them in. That's what this screen is all about. Yeah, per pattern there's 8 tracks, so you can have 8 different instruments playing at once, but they're all in different patterns. I don't know. It's a little hard to describe it. Yeah, so I think this is the first instrument. He's still tweaking because it says instrument mods 01. I think this is the first instrument. And he's still fucking with the sound of it. The background weird like string sound. He's still fucking with it. Oh, he's creating. So you see, it's instrument 3. He's creating a 3rd instrument at this point. Yeah. Oh, he's doing another bass. Oh, you can do chords. You can actually make it do a chord, so every time it plays a chord. That's crazy. That's sick. What's up, Machiavellian? And here he's copy-pasting notes from one of the other chains, and so he just changed the instrument to 3. So now it's 2 different versions of the bass playing at once. He's going for a Doom 2016 sound, which means at some point we should hear something that sounds more guitar, I guess? That's what I'm waiting for. Oh, now we're doing drums? What's up, Chubby Archive? Alright, he's creating another instrument. This is maybe gonna be melody? I don't know. I don't know what he's gonna do with this one. Ah, nice. Yeah, it has built-in reverb and delay. That's crazy. Oh, here we go. Adding some distortion to it. Yeah, you can even see up here, it becomes like a square wave, which is a very distinctive kind of chiptune sound, but it's also a fuzz sound. Yeah. Whenever people doom about the current state of the world and stuff, I think about things like this, where it's like, you gotta take it, you know, there's a lot of bad things happening in the world. There's always a lot of bad things happening in the world. There always has been a lot of bad things happening in the world. There probably always will be bad things happening in the world. But at the same time, there's some pretty fucking amazing things happening in the world too, you know? Okay, he's loading a new instrument. What is this? Oh, it's the guitar! Yes, let's go! Yes! Digital guitar, let's go! This is great. Guitar samples are so fun. Okay, and so now what he's doing is he's going in and I was wrong I think earlier. He's going to go in and he's essentially going to line up everything on this. These are all the different patterns and stuff, all these different tracks. Going to line it up on this so it's actually... So at this point he's created a loop. So everything is just playing over and over and over again. So he's going to take those different parts and he's going to have a build up. Like he's going to have one part play and then another part play, another part play, and then kind of like let it all just kind of like come together slowly over time. So it's like he built the entire thing and now he's going to strip it apart. So as it goes, you know, measure by measure, it'll actually kind of build up. Yeah, I'm lost at this point because I don't know what all these other, like he's pretty much organizing everything, but I don't fucking know any, like, oh, he's adding effects too. This is essentially like the mastering process. That's crazy. Dude, this program has so much shit in it, it's wild. And once again, guys, this entire video is like unedited. This is him literally just doing it in real time. So by the end of it, he'll have made this like, you know, song, or at least intro to a song within under like 13 minutes. And once again, only with like essentially 4 or 5 buttons. It's fucking nuts. That's so good, dude. Oh man, I was hoping you'd show more. That's crazy. That's pretty good for 13 minutes though. Yeah, here's someone actually doing it, but you can actually see them like, so very different from the last one where the other person was creating like synth samples. This person is just using pre-recorded guitar sample, like acoustic guitar sample. But you can still affect it the same way using all the different filters and stuff. That's crazy. Yeah, one of the special effects is a reverse. So you'll notice at the very end it sounds like it reverses. That's cool. Adding all the hi-hats. I used to do that a lot with my tracker music back in the day. These days, I used to do trackers way back when, before, like the early days, the pre-internet, but now I just use Fruity Loops. Anyways, that's the M8 tracker. I forgot why we were talking about this. Oh yeah, Willow said something about missing buttons. And this is just like, this has got all the tactile vibe that you could ever want, and then more for making music. I think it's great. How are you? I love you, say it back. Fine. I guess I'll just eat chocolate and die. Matter of fact, I kind of started, I was worried a little bit and paying attention to my analytics on YouTube recently, especially when my videos started getting pushed out to more people. But I stopped because I realized I just really enjoy doing like random rant videos about whatever the fuck I want to talk about. It's been really fun. And I'm very thankful that a lot of people are enjoying the videos. It's probably one of the things that's brought me the most happiness recently. So it's been nice just like trying to think of something to talk about every day for the videos. Kefir helps with gut bacteria? Oh yeah, I every day I eat yogurt. I eat chobini with blueberry and oatmeal and honey. And then I heat up the blueberry, like I have frozen blueberries, and so I heat that up. It's really fucking good, bro. If I ever get a place that has a nice kitchen, or a kitchen at all, I'll do like one of those really schmancy videos. It'll like where everything is like lit very well and like filmed artistically. I'll do that with my little yogurt blueberry recipe. It's so simple, but it's like so delicious. Yeah, I've been trying to think if there's like a way for me to I don't know. I don't really know if there's a way for me to like I don't know if it's possible for me to stay actively talking on stream without like chat interaction. I don't know if that's possible for me. And it's something I've like I've stressed over in the past. There was an era where I was streaming VR chat for like 12 hours a day, and there was like really long periods of just no one saying anything, and I essentially would just like meditate and stare at the screen. I think it's a little different these days. Like I don't want to just like sit here doing nothing, but I don't mind the quiet lulls in meditation and waiting to like talk. It's different these days. I don't mind it, I guess what I'm saying. Did I start playing Elden Ring from last time we talked? Oh, me and Sibby tried 2-player Elden Ring, and then I rage quit once I realized I couldn't use my horse. I was like, there ain't no way. It's because you couldn't use the horse, and you have to summon every time you die. I was like, this isn't fun. Like, this isn't how I want to play Elden Ring with my friend. Also, we got invaded, like, immediately, and I didn't know any of the buttons, bro. I was, like, So I play, the way I play Elden Ring is I play underleveled. I was at the, I don't know what it's called. I was in a part of the world I was not supposed to be in, fighting this like crazy, it's like a bird guard, like this weird gigantic bird guard warrior. And that's where I stopped playing the game. Anyway, so Sibby joins me, and Sibby's like, why are we here? I'm like, what do you mean? I was fighting this guy, and Sibby's like, you're not supposed to be here. I'm like, what do you mean? And then I showed Sibby a picture. I'll show you guys. I'll show you a picture of what my map looks like in Elden Ring. Because Sibby's like, you're not supposed to be here until you're like... And then he showed me his map, and I literally did not go to like half of... Like, I didn't play half the game. Like, I just immediately went to like the hard areas of the game because I was just like doing the open world exploring shit. And anyway, so I'm just sitting there. I have a pretty sick sword. I have a pretty sick build. We get invaded, right? This guy's kicking my ass. I'm struggling remembering how to even I'm struggling remembering how to even heal because I haven't played in so long. And then the guy came at me again, and then I remembered the button combinations and everything, and then I just fucking like 3-shot the guy. This is my Elden Ring map. So apparently there's this entire other part of the map up here that you're supposed to go to and go do before you even begin to go over here. And I didn't know that, bro. I was up here fighting this guy. Like crazy under. Dude, I beat dragons and shit. No, this is how I played Elden Ring. If I remember correctly, but and then I was fighting whatever the fuck this thing is up here, and I was getting so close, bro. I had this whole technique with my horse. I was so close, but he was so hard because I was like, I mean, anything I fought over here was essentially like two or three shotting me, right? I'm a hardcore gamer, guys. When I game, yeah, I don't know. I just liked exploring. I think that was the most fun I had with Elden Ring. Was I just liked exploring. It was fun, and I didn't like any of the scripted stuff. It was it's kind of boring. I don't give a shit about the story. The story kind of sucks. It doesn't really have a story. I know it does. I know certain people like it, but like, I don't like puzzles. I don't like having to put things together that are like convoluted and require you to like dig deep into lore text for like individual items laying around, you know? I'm trying to think of something else. Oh, I will defend till the day I die that Scorn is an amazing video game in terms of storytelling. Maybe not in terms of gameplay, but the storyline behind Scorn is one of the most underrated stories in video game history, quite frankly. Masterfully done. If anything, Scorn was ruined by the fact that it had action sequences, or the action sequences were clunky, but the story, like the environmental storytelling and just the story in general of Scorn is like next level. Because it doesn't require lore, it doesn't require text. You just play the game and observe, and you like can kind of absorb what is happening. I wish Elden Ring was more like that. Yeah. Scorn is the thing. Scorn is literally you play two different characters, and both those people are intertwined story that is fleshed out through what the environment. It's environmental storytelling. I wish Scorn would have been a walking simulator instead of a combat game, because everyone expected it to be like Doom or something, or like Amnesia, and it's like, it's just not. It's I don't know, it's weird. I will never forgive gamers for hating Scorn. That sounds crazy. It's just weird. I've never seen the gaming industry miss the mark on not appreciating a game as much as it has with Scorn. There's lots of lore videos about Scorn that completely explain it, and you don't have to play the game to necessarily enjoy it, but I do recommend watching a full playthrough or play through it yourself. But like, yeah, the problem with Scorn is just the fact that the environmental storytelling was amazing, but then it was like marred by the fact that you ultimately were just like doing these like weird combat. It was like weird combat. I think the gameplay was just clunky combat. Oberdeen looks really cool though. I do like the aesthetic. I don't like quirky white dudes being preachy to me about stuff. That's right, I'm live on Twitch. It's me live on Twitch. I'm here. I'm on your computer screen, or your phone, or your toaster. I don't know. You know how everything has a screen now? So like there's like people have like refrigerators where you can actually like watch live streams on the refrigerator, because you can also order groceries from the refrigerator because it has like a screen on the refrigerator connected to your Wi-Fi. People put on everything, right? Like, imagine someone has like a live stream on their toaster, but then they can also go take a bath with their toaster watching their favorite VTuber on their favorite live stream, you know? Alright, that's the clip. I just like the idea of someone's like, well, time to take a toaster bath, and they're watching their favorite VTuber on their toaster, because their toaster has a little video screen on it that's connected to their Wi-Fi, so they can monitor their toast. Dude, my fucking AC has like a Wi-Fi connection, so I can control my AC with my phone. That's just crazy. And then it's like one of the most annoying apps ever, because it wants me to update it constantly. It's like, bro, you control my air conditioner. I don't need to fucking update like every fucking 10 minutes. to control my fucking AC, please. Bro, I'd let China spy on me via my AC if it meant I had Chinese healthcare. Fuck yeah, dude, let's go. Do it now. I want to see you make a smoothie and a coffee grinder and post it right now on social media. Do it. Do it, coward. Do it. Make a smoothie and a coffee grinder. Post it. Hashtag ranting mouse. Make a coffee smoothie. Fuck it. No, I agree with you, Scared. No, no, we do not live. If we lived in an efficient society, we wouldn't have flavored water packaged literally a bajillion different ways. You know what I mean? Like I remember when I was a kid, like I was a leftist as a fucking child before I even knew what leftism was or whatever. I remember going down the grocery aisle and just being like, why the fuck are we wasting so many resources on packaging and advertising? It made no sense to me as a kid. With no influence, just pure logicking it out. I was like, why do we need all, like, this is so wasteful, what the fuck? And it's funny because I used to be like really anal about certain kinds of like packaging and waste in that regard. Actually I was convinced a little differently because of how Japan handles their waste and why they do like so much single serve stuff. The efficiency with which Japan handles their waste made me realize, like, as long as it's done right, it's kind of okay. Especially if you have a population that gives a fuck about actually like keeping their environment clean. In other words, not just tossing shit everywhere and letting that stuff get into the environment. Like if it's processed at the end of the line properly into energy and shit, then like it's fine. But yeah, unfortunately, America ain't that kind of place. The thing is too, because at the end of the day, a vibrator is also just essentially a motor. You can also use the food processor to fuck yourself. I want to see that attachment. I mean, if we're gonna logic it out that far, fuck it. Make it to where you just strap it to a car and it's the engine. Like how far are you gonna scale this thing? You know what I mean? So guys, I created a forever Minecraft world for my friends. You're not invited, sorry, you're just chat. I'm not doing one for chat, fuck off. Because I don't know about you guys, but like I have a Discord full of friends who I never talk to. we occasionally like share memes and stuff, but we're not like active friends, they're just like my old friends. And I'm not very social. So it's just like another extension of that. It's very cool. I recommend it. Like if you feel like you are the center of a friend group, and even if you guys don't like actively talk on Discord, consider like, you know, paying the money for a Java realm, and then just being like, hey, it's a forever world. You know, no pressure, but I'm gonna whenever I feel like playing Minecraft, I'm gonna play on this world, and you are welcome to come play as well. I tend to like to play games vanilla because I hate dealing with mods. The only exception to that has been Project Zomboid. Project Zomboid benefits greatly from mods, but yeah, I hate dealing with mods. Minecraft and mods is a fucking absolute pain in the ass. Yeah, I'm excited. Apparently there's going to be a co-op, the next Elden Ring style, or the next game in the Elden Ring series is going to be a co-op roguelike. I hope that's true, because I would play the absolute fuck out of that. Elden Ring Night Rain is basically an Elden Ring roguelike game. You start off as one of the 8 pre-made characters, Guardian, Recluse, yada yada. No custom character except some accessories. You choose a boss target to take down before every match begins and join the game with 2 other players. Oh, it's 3. It forces you into a 3 stack? That sucks. Why are people mad about that? Oh, are they mad because it's essentially like a session? Like it's a forced 30-minute session? I mean, I guess I kind of get that. Like, but cope and seethe, I guess? Who gives a shit? Bro, we live in the era of gacha games domination. Like, who the fuck is complaining about microtransactions this year, Lord 2025? If you don't like a game that has microtransactions, don't play the fucking game. Don't be a whale. Learn self-control, bro. Like, what do you mean? It's too late to complain about this. We already live in the hellscape that is microtransaction central. We just live in that reality now. Go learn to make video games! Develop your own video game. It's not that hard. It's the way that I see it is like, if I enjoy a game enough, yeah, of course I'll pay more money to support the developers. Fuck yeah. Unfortunately, I know that that money isn't supporting them as much as I'd like. So I have shied away from buying that stuff, you know? I will buy skins if I am playing a game enough that I want to look a certain way. So for instance, I've played the finals off and on for a while, right? And every time I play it, I like to look a certain way. It's fun to mess around with the style. The way that I see it, it's like buying clothes. I will buy clothes to look a certain way, you know? It's unfortunate that that's the way it is, and at the end of the day, that money ultimately is probably supporting CEOs more than it is the actual, like, artists and developers. But whatever, I don't care. You know, we live in a fucking horrible society where things aren't good. It is probably one of the lesser evils to contribute to microtransactions. Yeah, I want to be fashionable and have fun playing the game, so fuck yeah, I'll pay for it. That being said, if a game loses my interest, like a good example of a game I stopped spending any money on was Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves, they have burned all the goodwill they could ever burn in the community, time and time again, to the point where like I will never buy a single thing from Sea of Thieves ever again. They would have to significantly change their game development and the care they have for that game for me to come back and spend any more money on them. They've already gotten all the money they'll ever get out of me. Oh, I was gonna say, like, I don't mind spending more money on a game I've already paid for if I get a lot of hours out of it, you know what I mean? I think that's one of the things that people forget is, like, back in the day you'd get, like, if you were lucky, 7 hours out of a, you know, $40 video game. These days you get literally thousands of hours out of a game. I don't think paying a little bit of extra money for, like, a skin is that unreasonable, especially for live service stuff. I'm trying to think if there's a game I actually felt like I wasted money on in terms of skins. I kind of felt bad buying loot boxes with Apex Legends. Apex's system was a little Overwatch, on the other hand, I liked buying loot boxes from. Back in the day, the OG Overwatch, I enjoyed buying loot boxes. But yeah, the ship has sailed long ago for people to be mad about that stuff. Gamers could have boycotted and rose up against those things, but game developers learned long ago that they can take advantage of people in that way, and now that's just the reality we live in. Guys, I'm sad. My favorite leftist political commentator got banned on Twitch. So are there any bells and whistles that you guys would like from my stream that it doesn't have? I'm not against adding more things. I just don't. I'm like slowly like. Oh yeah, no, I've seen it before. No, I looked it up. It was great. He was just like, oh fuck, dude. Yeah. Yeah, bro, it is so weird seeing a guy like act so normal around politicians who aren't acting like human beings. I mean, I know why Trump did what he did, but it was like, he's just stupid. I fucking hate that bullshit. Politics is so fucking garbage. Zelensky seems like a real bro, but I know why politicians act the way they do. Zelensky seems very real for what he's like. Zelensky just seems like he's just straight up like, no, I'm not about the bullshit. I just want to talk about real stuff. And then all the other politicians are just like, politicking. It's like, fuck, bro, come on, man. Zelensky was just being real, you know? But Trump was like, he felt like he had to maintain a certain, like, look. Which is why he was acting the way he was. And I don't know, I just don't know if that's the case. Like, I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if you have to do what Trump did at where he's at. And that's what I mean by politicking, by the way. I just mean, there's a lot of politicians who they don't give a fuck about actually doing things. They just want to look a certain way. Which is ironic because even I don't know who Trump was trying to impress, but he definitely didn't impress a lot of people. You know what I mean? He just the opposite. Like, I have never felt more self-assured after that exchange. I've never felt more assured that the U.S. is falling apart. Like, I think that was, to me, that was a defining moment. At least in my mind. Like, I have never felt more strong about denouncing the U.S., you know? It would take the next president has a lot of fucking cleaning up to do. I don't trust it anymore. I think we're past the tipping point. I think enough people don't. There's enough people in the United States, enough left-leaning liberal people in the United States who don't have faith in the federal government anymore. I'll tell you one thing, it definitely is following the thing that I wanted to happen back when I was more libertarian-leaning, like 7 years ago? About 9 years ago. I wanted Trump to become president because I thought he was going to dismantle the government, and then I did not because it was a good thing for... I didn't like Trump, but I knew that he'd probably dismantle the US, and then ultimately the blue states could, you know... States would be more empowered to do their thing, and in the blue states, life would get better. And of course, in the red states, things would get worse. It's unfortunate for the red states. The thing is here's the thing. If the Fed falls apart and if states become more independent in the US, which I believe they should, I really do believe we're at a point where the states should be more like they should be able to essentially like have regions. I think, you know, it's going to be weird in red states because the whole thing with the US, okay, is the thing that people don't understand about the US who aren't in the US is that liberal centers in the US are where the cities are at. So when people have to live on top of each other and actually be around other people and have you know the economic centers of the US are more liberal and give a shit about all these things because they're more educated. You have to live around other people and get along with other people, and in general that creates a more like liberal population. So like when you see maps, right, of like voters in the US where there's cities, generally speaking, they vote blue, they vote liberal, they vote, you know, more left-leaning towards more left-leaning ideals. The problem is the way that voting is set up in the USA, all of those like red areas, the people who live out in the outskirts of the cities, have a lot of sway in voting. And because of gerrymandering, those voting those voting corridors or whatever can actually lean in favor of the conservatives. So if you dismantled the Fed and each, you know, state had to essentially like ratify its own shit, I'm just saying it would be very complicated and it wouldn't work out the way I think people would think it would work out, because like for instance Texas, that would be way more blue than like the area between central Texas and say Tennessee or whatever, you know what I mean? Like that entire area would be so red, but then that little tiny corridor in the middle of Texas would be very blue. So like what the US would look like without the federal government and all this gerrymandering like counties voting, it would be weird, it'd be crazy. Like I guarantee you, like, state lines would change. Like, it would be fucking wild. It would be absolutely wild. I'm here for it. I think we should just do it. I think that's where it's going. I think we're gonna end up saying that. And the thing is someone pointed this out recently too, that like each states, like these various different states within the US, they have their own like militaries essentially, and they have their own like economic like structures. So we would see all kinds of crazy shit. But what would be wild about it is that because of the way the red states are versus the blue states, we would also have potentially like, you know, the equivalent of like Europe versus like Eastern Europe, right? Like the South is like Eastern Europe, and then like the North is kind of like more like Europe. But then on top of all of that, we've got climate change, bro. By 2050, the South is going to be unlivable. Like, so they're going to have to come to the North. Like it's I'm telling you, there's things that are happening behind the scenes we don't know about yet. They're not talking about it yet. They're thinking ahead. I guarantee you there's some people thinking way ahead about this shit. And like you don't like none of that even fucking matters when by 2050 the South is literally going to be unlivable because of climate change. Thank you for coming to my rant about the fall of the United States of America. The country is crumbling. You don't have to think anything of it. It is. Predictions for the next 5 years. The next 25 years, the South is going to be a large swaths of the United States are going to be uninhabitable, just straight up, bro. Like, it will cost too much to live there infrastructurally. Like that is like an actual reality. Me going up to Minneapolis isn't just about surviving. Isn't just about getting out of Oklahoma and getting away from like southern bigots and shit. It's because it's not gonna be livable here in 25 years, bro. Like, I mean, I'm definitely not gonna be here 25 years. So that's crazy. But you know what I mean? Like, it's going to get worse and worse. Like, and it's not gonna happen overnight. It's gonna happen slowly over time. The AI. Oh yeah. AI. Okay, I can talk about AI though. AI is definitely it's doing a lot to. It's a very powerful tool, but at the end of the day, it's still just a tool. It's not going to like no one's going to be able to use AI to just like really fuck up the world. Not yet. More like when quantum computing can actually get to the point where people can do like, you know, what is it, like millions of qubits or whatever. That's when things are going to get very, very, very interesting, because then you'll have literally governments, like anyone who has access to that level of like technology will be able to essentially like, you know, break all algorithms, break all encryption, like that kind of shit. That's going to be interesting, but that's still like, that's more like a nuke option on the government side of things. You still won't have people in their basement building quantum computers, you know what I mean? Thankfully that kind of shit's still gate kept. But general AI, yeah, I don't know. I think people kind of doom a little bit too much about that. It's still just a tool. It's a tool in the same way that computers and the internet and just it's another way of accessing information. As someone who's used ChatGPT and messed with like, you know, consumer AI that's available for people, it's still just a tool in a way to access information that already exists. It doesn't really give you like a anything you couldn't get from doing a lot of research. You know what I mean? It just makes it more efficient to get there. If people could use I guarantee you, if there's a point where people can use AI to create things that would really like harm the world, those things would immediately become omega regulated. I guarantee it. I guarantee it, man. Do you remember when people were using magnetic resonance to fuck with their brains? And then it just kind of disappeared? Isn't that kind of weird? I think about that all the time. Focused magnetic resonance? Like, they were using it to treat depression and shit. And they were using it to simulate like all kinds, like stimulate the brain just by like essentially waving a magnetic wand around your head. And then all of a sudden people stopped talking about it. Whatever happened to that shit, man? I do think it'd be funny if AI revealed there's some kind of fucking reality hack. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, oh yeah, you just got to say like these magic words and you get flight. One day people are just flying. How the fuck are you flying, bro? What? I'm not gonna tell you. It's cheat code. What do you mean? It's you know what I mean? It's like a built-in cheat code, just no one would accidentally do because it's too. It's like a South Park plot. This is a quirked up white boy. I don't give a shit if he's Polish. This is a bona fide quirked up white boy, bro. I don't care if he's Polish, German, from deep southern Florida. This is a quirked up white boy. Alright. He looks like... I'm telling you, he's a quirked up white boy. I didn't call him a white boy, I called him a quirked up white boy. Do you guys want to see what I looked like in high school? This will explain why I hate quirked up white boys so much. My self-hatred knows no bounds. That's me in high school, guys. That's right, it's a hand-drawn t-shirt that says, I am not a freak. It's literally a hand-drawn t-shirt with cartoon characters that says, I am not a freak. No, this was in high school. I didn't start presenting femme and transitioning until I was like in my early 20s. I mean, I was on hormones as young as like 18, but I didn't try to start presenting femme until my 20s. Hey, you guys want to see a Star Wars meme edit I made a long time ago? Alright, here we go.
What you say? Oh, that you only meant well, 'cause you did. What you say? What did she say?
It works so well, bro! It just works so well, bro! It works so well. Does anyone have a video game they're looking forward to coming out? I have a bunch on my wish list, but I keep forgetting what they are. I keep wishlisting stuff that's coming out and then I forget. I think Arc Raiders is one of them. I heard a lot of good things about that. Hollow Knight, yeah. Yeah, everyone, dude, do you know the reason I know about Silksong is because Reddit keeps recommending me the Silksong subreddit. I had to mute it finally because I was like, why am I getting all of these like frustration posts? GTA 6, yeah, I don't really care about GTA anymore. Yeah, it is. I was so confused. I was like, why do people care so much about whatever this is? I didn't know what was happening. Nah, playing GTA roleplay killed GTA for me. Honestly, oh my god, I just realized this. Playing Grand Theft Auto roleplay for 7 months, I think might have altered my brain chemistry when it comes to video games. I have never had a better gaming experience than with Grand Theft Auto roleplay. I think it fundamentally changed how I think about video games. Which is weird because you would think like, okay, so I'd be like starting to pursue more GTA or more roleplay after it, but instead no, it's weird. I look for just dopamine hit games now. If I'm not getting dopamine fed to me during a video game, I stop playing. GTA RP was just like absolute crap. Yeah, it was amazing, bro. It's unfortunate that it wasn't as RP centric as I thought it was. God, if it had been actual RP centric with good game masters running the server, fuck, it would have been so good. Unfortunately, all the other RP servers I was on, there's so much ego involved in those servers. The people who run those servers fucking all suck. They're literally some of the most insufferable people on the planet, and then they just surround themselves with insufferable like sycophants. Oh, I don't need gaming suggestions. I'm perfectly fine playing. Right now I'm cycling between Power Wash Simulator, my Forever Minecraft server, Star of Providence, and I would like to start developing my own video game. My favorite autism game? I mean, every game I play is an autism game. My life's really weird right now. Gaming for me is just kind of a thing I do every now and then as a break from trying to grind other things, I guess. I can't imagine really getting heavily into a game again. I could imagine being socially dragged into a game. I don't know, something would have to drastically change my life for me to get into a video game, like hardcore. I was gaming while you were still just a sperm in your dad's scrotum. There we go, I said it. I haven't felt old in a very long time. When I found out The Legend of Zelda was nearly 40 years old, that was when I was like, wait a second. Pause 1 second. Because I remember playing The Legend of Zelda when it came out. I remember the sleepover. I literally remember the sleepover because what happened is we were at the very end, the very last dungeon. We were literally grinding the last dungeon. You have to save it a certain way. I forget what it is, but you have to save it a certain way. And it was a sleepover with me, my older brother, my friend, and his older brother. And we paused the game overnight, and someone like we were sleeping next to the Nintendo, and someone fucking pressed the power button with their fucking foot while they were asleep, and it erased our save game. We were at the very end, bro. We were about to beat Zelda, bro. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I don't mind being a historical VTuber. It's fine. I'm okay with it now. I used to feel self-conscious about it, but it's whatever. I don't care. I think it's funny the other day when someone was commenting on my take on lolicons, and they were like, yeah, you're not. They were like, you're not into lolicons. You're like into age regression. And I was like, bro, when you're as old as I am, everything is age regression. I was born long enough ago that like when I was a kid, we were still dressing like it was the 70s. Like I was in tube socks and like, you know, boy shorts or whatever you call them. I never went. I was fortunately by the time I was older, we weren't wearing like that. Like my brother had that 70s fit, you know what I mean? Like where they were wearing like short shirts and shit. Bring back the gay look of the 70s for boys. Bro, I was alive when the fucking Berlin Wall fell. I was alive when the USSR still existed. I remember Mikhail Gorbachev and his big tattoo, or not tattoo, his birthmark on his forehead. I remember getting my first mouse for my computer. I remember getting my first dial-up modem. I remember going into literally the yellow pages to look for a BBS to dial into before the internet. I remember when you went on road trips and you would literally have to like pull apart this fold out map that like you would literally you'd have to pull over to look at a map. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was like a fold out map that would go across like the driving steering wheel all the way to the other side of the car, and it was just like you would just hear this like imagine you're in the car, right? And you're just like getting the map out. Like and you had to sit there with your finger just like, okay, where the fuck is this road at? I remember when no one had a cell phone, and if you had a pager, you were either a doctor or a drug dealer. Bring back pagers. Text-only devices would be pretty neat. I could see that becoming a fad. So this is like a more advanced pager. I'm showing you this just so you can see what the size of it is. And essentially, all you could do on it with the OG ones was you would use a number, like you would dial into it and you could dial numbers. You couldn't even do text, right? So like, for instance, if I wanted my mom to know that like I was in trouble, I would dial her and dial like 911. And that's how my mom knew I was in trouble. So I would call her pager, like with like a landline or a payphone, and dial 911, and then she would know to like come find me or something. This is like a more advanced, I think, older or like newer pager. The kinds that my parents had were more like this. And so it didn't do text, it was just numbers. So you could call it and you could essentially punch in a number and it would just buzz. I don't think it might beep. Yeah, I think it beep. People call it the beeper, I think, too. And what's really great is there's this movie called Hackers. It's this really cheesy movie from the 90s I really recommend watching. It's what everyone wishes the 90s were really like. Like it's the cyberpunk version of the 90s. I think a lot of people wish they could live, especially like even me who lived through the 90s wish that I could have lived that life in the 90s. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people, like a lot of kids are like, oh, I want to live in the 2000s. I want to live in the whatevers. I want to live in the 90s again, but like a hacker life, like the movie. And it's funny because I was actually doing a lot of things that they were doing in the movie. Like me and my friends were doing hacker shit. If you look at their outfits, they had pagers. Each one of them had like a pager. Like, see right there? Yeah, it's been very fascinating seeing each new generation get into things I grew up with. Like, wish they could live during those times or like those old stuff. I'm telling you, as an adult who lived through it, same. Like, a lot of this stuff you see in movies and stuff, like, I didn't get to even experience that as a kid. I got to experience parts of it. Like, a lot of the stuff you see in movies and in regards to fashion and stuff usually was from people who had money during those times or like lived in a city. Like, a lot of the cool shit you see like was from rich people who lived in like New York and Los Angeles. Not everyone had that kind of lifestyle growing up. And I mean, that's kind of one of the cool things about the modern age is like we have access to so much more things. So it's like, even as an adult, like I get to, like, it's cool essentially getting to live that life as an adult. Like VRChat for me was like, when VRChat, because I joined VRChat in 2018 when it first started really popping off in a big way. And yeah, in 2018. And I immediately was like, okay, this is the time. This is it. I have to live the life now and appreciate it for what it is, because it's not going to be like this forever. And sure enough, it's changed a lot since then, unfortunately. But if you ever feel nostalgic for the past, try to recognize how you're living in the moment now. Like, this is, there are things that we're going through at this point. There are things that we have access to right at this very moment. That is the good old days, you know? And more than ever, we have the opportunity, outside of the fact that a lot of us are poor these days and everything's very expensive. But there are ways to live that life now, you know? I keep telling Civvy that as soon as they release an official multiplayer for Steam Dwarf Fortress, I'm gonna play Dwarf Fortress with him. I don't want to do it by myself. I don't think I can get into Dwarf Fortress by myself. I need to do it with a partner. I just think it'd be fun to play with someone, because, you know, they can figure out one thing while you're figuring out the other. You can help with each other with your discoveries. I mean, you could just play like separately, obviously, and then just talk about it, but like, it's more fun if you were both just like figuring things out. And sometimes I just wonder if like Dwarf Fortress just sounds better than it is because it's so gatekept by how complex, by like the skill floor. Yeah, I don't know. I like I said, when it comes to games, I'm all about the that dopamine hit, just getting right into it, which is why I like Necess. But Necess lacks depth, unfortunately. It's really easy to get into and really easy to get things going, but then there's no depth to it. I wonder if it's safe to browse Reddit. Let's look at Reddit, guys. The Dow tumbles 800 points as Trump confirms tariffs on Mexico and Canada will start Tuesday. Is that true? I understand Nvidia. Let's see how much Nvidia is down. 1 day, 6 months. Oof. Wait. Oh, God. Wait, 114? Can't believe his song got banned. It's so sad. Wait, what? Disney introduces Christian character after ditching transgender story. I mean, yeah, it's Disney. Google co-founder says 60-hour work week, the sweet spot for productivity. Horseshoe theory, yeah. Yeah, there's a transgender content creator I've been following recently who, it's really interesting. I started following them and they make really good rants. And then I just happened to follow them right as they confronted the lolicon issue. So they've been getting into fights with lolicons on Twitter, which is, you should never fucking talk to lolicons on Twitter, bro. That's like a death sentence. Like that's just like, you're just asking for shit, man. There are certain people on. This is why like I talk about this kind of stuff, about free speech and free expression to a certain extent with stuff, because like it's really like, I understand as a leftist liberal, like I understand moderating your own spaces, right? There's got to be a moderate governance position that allows for people to have their self-expression without hurting people. Even if their self-expression is extreme. I could be wrong, though. This is why I am not educated enough to make these kind of decisions or make these judgments. And I don't feel like a lot of the people who talk about this stuff are either. As a Russian, you can't be a good person and support the Russian state. I just feel like that's too black and white, man. I think there are misguided people who support bad... I know people who have real bad takes, right? Like, they... With what they are actively doing... On a day-to-day basis, they are not actively doing anything bad. They just have bad fucking takes, you know? If push came to shove, I don't know if they would, you know, go too far with those bad takes. At least in America, in general, we're not making active decisions that are, like, directly causing bad things to happen. We're all passively participating. We're definitely all passively participating in bad things happening, but no one's actively, like, you know, not a lot of people are actively engaging in harm. You could say the same things about Americans. You can't be a good person. If you say that about American, an American isn't a good person if they support. I feel like that's too black and white. Like, if you support American, like, if you support what America is, like, what does support mean, I guess is my point. You know what I mean? Because whether you support what America is doing with Israel and Ukraine, right? We're all paying taxes that's going to fund that shit. So does it make you a bad person by paying taxes? You know, like, yeah, it's just that simple. Like, if you this is one of the reasons I don't like Hassan, or one of the things I ultimately don't like about Hassan Piker is he has so much power to do so much more in the world in a very active way. And I'm not. He always uses this term, socialism is a poverty cult. I'm not asking Hassan to go into poverty, but he's definitely making enough money where he could be doing more with his time and energy on top of his activism as a streamer to be doing good things for the world, you know? So I blame Russians for being pro-state. Yeah, exactly, Cockablaze, exactly. And the same thing with Americans. That's the point I'm trying to make. An American who says like, of course I support if there's an American who's like, of course I support the USA doing what it's doing overseas, right? Like a lot of dumb Americans think it's about protecting America, right? Like that's the propaganda we're fed in America. So there are Americans who go throughout their life and they genuinely believe that everything the federal government's doing overseas is for America's protection. Do I think that person's a bad person? Absolutely not. They're just misguided. But what I'm saying is that person who goes through their life thinking that and believing that and being okay with where their tax money is going, at the end of the day, if they just live their life a normal life, like a pretty much a standard American life where they just work, they have a family, they try to be nice to people around them, they're generally speaking, they're just kind of like a generally nice person, but they have these beliefs. Is that person worse than someone who also leads another American life and hates where their taxes are going and complains about everything it's doing, but then once again just leads a kind of normal American life where they never really try to affect any change for the positive? In my opinion, they're both, like, at the end of the day, they're both equally bad, because if you're not actually trying to affect change, if you're just complaining, if you're not actually doing something on a day-to-day basis to affect positive change, and then you're just as bad as the person who sits there and just goes like, I'm happy with my life, I'm just going to keep living it. And I see a lot of that in America. I see a lot of people in America who aren't, like, they have good opinions, they have good takes, but they ain't doing jack shit. At the end of the day, they're not doing enough. And to me, that's a worse person. That's a worse person at the end of the day than someone who is just comfortable living their life in America, being fed the propaganda and living a normal American life. I feel like people talk like this, and this is something fundamental I'm trying to change about how I talk about things, because people like to talk about all this shit, and it's all hypothetical. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, I feel this person's bad. It's like, okay, who fucking cares? Like, I'm about to be very direct and mean to you, and I'm gonna walk it back. So just go with me on this. But you say as a Russian, you can't be a good person who supports the Russian state. So how does making that statement change anything? How does making a judgment call on some random hypothetical person who exists or doesn't exist matter? Like, who fucking cares? Like, what are you going to do to change your life and affect your surroundings one way or the other towards that end? At that, I don't know, I'm frustrated by all the hypotheticals when it comes to stuff like this. It's like, at the end of the day, only you can do what is within your sphere of influence. Being concerned about people outside of that, or making judgment calls about these, like, kind of like, essentially like, what's it called? Shadow boxing, I don't think is very helpful. And it's just like it's like a way of coping with like how you feel about the world around you, as opposed to actually dealing with the reality. But that's kind of like my ultimate vibe, and why I get really sick of drama when it comes to people just being like for instance, me coping and seething about how, well, Hassan could be doing more with his money. It's like, it's like, that's a hypothetical that will never happen, right? Like, I have no control over how Hassan spends his money, so being upset about it's like pointless. It's like, it doesn't matter what he does with his money or doesn't do with his money. He's just living his life the way he's gonna do it. Me having an opinion about it doesn't fucking matter either, other than the fact if I'm trying to virtue signal to people to be like, yes, I agree with you, who also hates Hassan. It's like, I don't know, I'm not a fan of that kind of stuff. I learn more watching Hassan than I have. I learn more and I enjoy the experience of how he conveys information. And here's the thing: is I'm not taking everything he says as writ law. I just think it's for me it's an entertaining way of learning about things I don't know about, and if I want to go in more in depth and actually try to understand things in a more fundamental way, I'll go find that information. So for instance, I've been consuming so many videos about the history of Ukraine, and it's a lot. Same thing with Israel. Israel and Palestine. I've been reading up all kinds of documents. I've been watching videos. Like I don't take Hassan's word as like writ law. I've even been going and watching Ethan Klein's perspective on things, because his wife at this point, Hila, is someone who lives there. Like I'm just consuming all this information, bro. I'm just consuming at this point. But I think this is why I tend to have this kind of like weird centrist perspective, where it's not centrist, but it's very much I'm just trying to understand things. Jokes on the dude. Okay, when I used to write my tax checks, I used to actually write them with little says. I'm not. This is not a joke. I was such a fucking dumb idealist when I was younger. I literally wrote on the check, "Do not use for war." I was such a fucking dumb idealist, dude. I wrote on the check, "Do not use for war." Talk about cringe leftism. That'll show them. Don't use for war. Yes! I am a quirked up white boy. I'm a recovering quirked up white boy who's now just old and queer. I hate him because I ain't him anymore. But yeah, no, I appreciate your perspective as a Russian. Last time I had anyone in my immediate sphere who was Russian was a VRChat friend who one day I found out hated black people and called them the N-word all the time, and I was like, we can't be friends anymore, man. But anyway, it was cool hearing about his life in Russia, because he lived out in like literally the middle of bumfuck nowhere, and he was explaining about how they didn't have fast food, they didn't have like convenience stores like we have. It was very communal living. There was like local farms where everyone got their food from and stuff. It was very interesting. I'm trying to I think that's one of the things I'm enjoying most about this new content creation journey, is I really am just trying to have it be an educational experience, share my thoughts and what I know about the world, and then learn about other people's stuff. What game are you thinking of working on? Yeah, I can tell you. I'm gonna call it, the tentative title is called Fidget. Yeah, the game I'm working on is called Fidget, and it is tentatively it is going to be a twin stick shooter, or shmup. It's very much inspired by a lot of games I've been playing and the kind of game I want to play. So I want a game that I can just jump right into and start having fun. For me, fun is like dopamine hit. So think about how like when you play Vampire Survivors and you're immediately just like having a good time. Except I want it to be a little bit more goal-oriented. So, it's going to essentially be a twin-stick shooter that you collect resources, and then you do something with those resources. I know that's very general sounding, but I have to get back into game development slowly. So, first I have to work on movement. Oh, and that's another thing too, is like I ultimately, when it comes to game design, I learned this from Edmund McMillan, the creator of Binding of Isaac and Super Meat Boy. I think he was the one who said it. He said, if you can make a game fun just by moving around, if the game feels good just by moving, if you have fun just by moving in the game, right? That's like a foundational aspect of the game. Like think about how any game, like think about this is one of the reasons like Super Mario Brothers, the 3D Super Mario Brothers have been so big, is because it just feels good. Like it's intuitive to move around the environment. So that's my first goal. My first goal is to have a character that can move around, and it feels good just to move around. I want the movement mechanics to feel really, really good. But it's going to be essentially like almost top down, like that kind of like semi-isometric top-down perspective, twin-stick shooter type beat. And so that's the first step. So the first step is the movement. The second step is going to be the shooting. So, it's going to be 360 degree of shootings, like a shmup. Like, if you guys have ever seen Star of Providence, this game I've been playing recently, it's essentially a bullet hell shmup. Binding of Isaac is like worse. It doesn't have as good as a feel. But yeah, so the movement's first, the shooting is second. So here's the thing is, I want to be able to load up the game and immediately start having fun. So the core tenet of my game is going to be the movement feeling good, and then the shooting things feeling good. The only core gameplay element I know that I want to exist right off the rip is no death. There is no death. There's no worrying of eating food. There's no worrying of getting hit and losing and having to start over. The only thing that I want you to stop yourself from playing is if you get bored. I do not want an end game state to frustrate you and make you want to stop. But of course there needs to be punishment if there is things that you end up fighting against. So I think that punishment is going to be some kind of like resource loss. So like the entire game is going to be about gathering resources, I think, at this point. So you're essentially shooting things or like mining things. I haven't decided yet what it is. I know for the first thing I'm going to do, so part of that will be building guns. I don't think I want there to be a roguelike. No, I'm doing Game Maker. I was gonna try Godot, but I don't know Godot well enough, and I don't want to learn a new system. And I know how to do Game Maker, so I'm doing Game Maker. Yeah, I know I'm sure it's good, but I just don't want to learn a new system. But anyways, that's kind of the basic foundation of it. Yeah, and then you can stop. And then we are not friends. This is the second time you have definitely crossed the boundary. We're not friends. You're in my chat. You're just enjoying my content. We're just talking in a chat room. You're not my friend. For anyone who is unaware, this is also the same person who earlier said we should do karaoke together. We're not friends, dude. If anybody wants to be my friend, just be a chatter for years, and then we might eventually be friends, maybe someday, maybe probably, but don't count your chickens on that shit. That's no guarantee of friendship. That's just, yeah, I don't make friends easily. It takes me a long time to get to know someone and trust them. Also, I'm just not looking for more friends, but yeah, sorry to burst your bubble. Just enjoy the stream for what it is, bro. Anyways, I love you guys. I'm probably gonna leave now. I'm kind of tired. We did a long stream. This is long for me, so I appreciate you hanging out with me. I will be back another time. I stream whenever the fuck I want. That's how it works. So you'll see me when you see me. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you had a good day. Hope you have a good day. And, yeah, nice meeting you too. Thank you. I don't know what else to say, so I'm gonna say goodbye. Bye!